Marcus Rashford, one of the most talked about interviews in the last few days. If you haven't already seen it because you was living under a rock, Marcus Rashford did an interview with Henry Winter, expressing his feelings about his game time at Manchester United, about his future at Manchester United, and now the speculation has begun. The timing is absolutely fantastic if you're a football fan because you're coming up to the January transfer window. Does he solve some of Arsenal's problems? We're going to get into it. We're also going to look at Mohammed Kudas. He is now being linked to Arsenal. And we're going to talk about the links regarding Nico Williams. Is he likely to move to Arsenal? We're going to get into all of that. Make sure you go down and drop a like if you haven't already. Make sure you have subscribed to the channel. We are closing in on 34,000, I believe. We're about 750 away. So if you haven't already, please do go down and hit that subscribe button. Massive night tonight in the Cups. Liverpool play Southampton, Arsenal play Palace, Newcastle play Brentford, and then the main event tomorrow, Spurs versus Man United. In the game, I think we may get a result. We may get a good result. Now, Marcus Rashford has done an interview in the last 24 hours with Henry Winter expressing his feelings to leave. And he said, for me personally, I'm ready for a new challenge. And the next steps was what he told him. When I leave, it's going to be no hard feelings. You're not going to have any negative comments from me about Manchester United. That's me, and I will always be a Red. And I think, I don't really think he can say a huge amount of negative comments about Man United. At the end of the day, he was in their academy. He was given a debut by Manchester United. He's played, over 200 games for the club. He scored over 50 goals for the club. He's won trophies with the club. So I don't really see how he can say anything bad about Manchester United. And then he said, when I leave Manchester United, I'll make a statement and it will be from me. Essentially saying, it won't be from a PR team. It won't be from an agent. It will be from himself. Now, a lot of people, when I say a lot of people, a lot of Arsenal fans, been talking about Rashford for a little while. He then goes on to say, lack of professionalism. I do feel misunderstood, but I'm fine with it. I'm a very simple person. I love football. That's been my life from the beginning. Now, when you think about Marcus Rashford, when he's on it, he is absolutely devastating, right? Sometimes, you get a 30-goal season out of him. If you just look at his Premier League numbers, they are so inconsistent. It is absolutely unbelievable. 1 minute, Marcus Rashford looks like one of the best wingers in the Premier League. The next minute, he looks like he wouldn't start for Everton. Just look at how inconsistent he is. 17 goals in 31 games with 7 assists in 1920. Phenomenal numbers. 17 goals and 5 assists in 35 games in 2022-23. Another phenomenal season. 10 goals and 6 assists in 33. But look at the other seasons, right? He's now, 28 years of age? So I think it's unfair to really criticize him in the 2015 and 2016 seasons because the guy was like 18, 19 years of age. Had a good season in 2018, had a really good season in 1920 and 2022, 2023. But this season, 4 goals in just 15 games. Last season, 7 goals in just 33. 21-22, 4 goals in just 25 games. And if you look at 17, 16, and 15, they're all under 10 goals. So he's had 5 seasons in the Premier League where he has not had a 10-goal season. Now, what Arsenal need heavily is a left winger and the number 9. They're only going to sign one before the summer, in my opinion, if they do sign one. It's predominantly going to be a number 9, in my opinion. Now, you look at Leandro Trossard, you look at Raheem Sterling, you look at Gabriel Martinelli. They are crying out right now for someone to put the ball in the back of the net. They're also struggling a little bit with creativity. This was the lineup that drew 0-0 to Everton: David Raya, Timber, Saliba, Gabriel, Miles, Lewis Skelly, Odegaard, Rice, Marino, Saka, Havertz, Martinelli. Then when you look at the bench, in terms of impact players from a forward line, you've got Sterling, which the manager clearly doesn't trust because Arteta never really seems to bring him off the bench that much in Premier League games. Gabriel Jesus, for me, if you play with a player like Gabriel Jesus, you're never really going to win a league title because he's so bad in front of goal. He's technically a good footballer, but he's got one goal this calendar year. Leandro Trossard, for me, is good, but him and Gabriel Martinelli at times can be a little bit inconsistent. What they need is a player like Nico Williams. Then you look at someone like Nico Williams, right? Nico Williams has been very much up and down this season. You know, he has not been that great for Athletic Bilbao, who are having a very good season. They're top of the Europa League. They're in the top four of the La Liga. When you look at his individual stats this season in terms of how do his numbers look, he's a lot more of a creative player. If you look at it last year, 11 assists and 5 goals, 16 goal contributions in 31, roughly a goal contribution every 2 games. This season, 3 assists and 1 goal. The season before that, 6 goals and 4 assists, a 10 GA and 36. He is a lot younger. He's only 22. What I think is really impressive is his form in the Copa del Rey, which I will find right now, where that's predominantly where he has had his best seasons, best form for Athletic Bilbao. It is that Copa del Rey competition where he just comes alive. He absolutely comes alive in the Copa del Rey. He has played 17 games and got 15 goal contributions. He also scored in the Euro final for Spain against England, unfortunately. He is a lot more of a creative player. He's not going to come into Arsenal and get 25 goals a season. So the answer is, do you sign a Marcus Rashford? Looking at it from the outside in, I think the only way Marcus Rashford would come in personally is if Raheem Sterling and Gabriel Jesus left, because his wages are astronomically high. Then you've also got to take into account, is Marcus Rashford at this moment in time actually good enough for Arsenal? Arsenal want to win league titles. Is he good enough? I'm not so sure. You know, he's got 3 goal contributions this season in the League Cup. He's got 4 goals and 1 assist in the league. In the Europa League, he's got 1 goal and 1 assist. And he obviously played in the Community Shield where he didn't get a goal. His overall numbers for Manchester United since he's been there, and he's won 2 FA Cups, 2 League Cups, and a Europa League. He's played 426 games. He's got 138 goals and 63 assists. So just over 200 goal contributions in a Man United shirt. For me, Arsenal are going to have to fork out £40 million on him. I think there is, in terms of attainable, I don't know if there's an attainable winger out there in January for them to bring in for around £40 million. In like a lot of links are out there to Kudas right now. I don't think West Ham are going to let Kudas go for less than £40 million. I think you're looking at more on the region of probably 60 to 70 million pounds. Then I look at Nico Williams. I don't think he will leave mid-season. So is Marcus Rashford likely to leave in January? Absolutely. Absolutely. He is going to leave Man United, in my opinion, in January. If it's a loan deal, that's probably going to be most likely with an option or an obligation to buy. But what a lot of teams have got to take into account, he's on £300,000 a week. So if he walked into Arsenal right now, he would be one of the highest paid players at the club. He's played 978 minutes in the Premier League, 308 in the Europa League, and overall, he's got 7 goal contributions in 21 games, so roughly 1 in 3. His XG is 1.7. His non-penalty XG is 1.7. And his expected assist, I think, is 2.1. You know, I don't know if it's worth the punt for Arsenal in January. You look at where they are. You look at they leave a lot more creativity. You know, Liverpool and Chelsea at the moment, there's a lot of people that think it's a two-horse race. There's a lot of people that think Arsenal are out of the title race. They've got tough games coming up. I personally, if you can get Marcus Rashford on a 30-goal season, which are Arsenal fans saying, well, hang on, it worked with Kai Havertz, you know, is it now going to work with Marcus Rashford? And there isn't any concrete links out there right now. I personally expect links to accelerate in the next 2 weeks or so when we get into the January transfer window in a couple of weeks' time. If Liverpool keep winning games, if Chelsea keep winning games, Arsenal at the moment are scoring less than Chelsea and Liverpool by some margin. If you compare them to Chelsea, 37, that's 8 goals more. You know, they've scored less goals than Spurs as well. Spurs have also conceded 36. They need a lot more creativity in their team. I don't know if Marcus Rashford is the answer personally. I know some Arsenal fans will probably think he is, and I know some Arsenal fans probably think he isn't. Mohammed Kudas is another one, heavily linked with a move away. Lopetegui at the moment isn't doing too great of a job. If you look, they're down in 15th. You look at West Ham's front line, it's very unlikely that Jared Bowen's going to leave West Ham anytime soon. Paqueta's linked to the move away. Paqueta would be a fantastic signing for Arsenal, but he's probably going to be in the region of 70 million to 80 million pounds. If Mohammed Kudas forced the move, then potentially he could get the move. Nico Williams, it's the same if he forced it. But at this moment in time, there isn't any concrete links to either of those players. However, there is concrete links linking Manchester United to a sale of Marcus Rashford. Let me know your thoughts down below on this story. I'll be live later with the match reactions to the Liverpool and, of course, the Arsenal game. And tomorrow, Chelsea and Spurs. Make sure you drop a like. Make sure you have subscribed. And I'll see you on the next one. Thank you for watching. I am out.